My name is Jack Linehan. I am the assistant to the village administrator for the village of Gurnee. I'm also the public information officer. And my role in IAMMA, I am the president this year.
And what inspired you to become involved in local government?
Yeah, so, it's kind of an interesting one. I actually, in high school, was when I started getting involved and interested. I started getting into politics, and I thought that might be a way I kind of wanted to, go for my career and what I wanted to study. And actually, my grandmother, she was a director of a nonprofit in Minnesota. And so she was very familiar having worked with city managers. She had a very positive impression of the field. And so she helped kind of guide me. And when I was looking at, where I wanted to go, she thought that maybe that might be a good path so that, I could kind of do a lot of what I wanted to do in politics, but actually more on the administrative side. And so it ended up being a perfect fit for me. And I ended up going to a school where I could study and work towards being a city manager.
Very nice. So my next question is, where did you go to school and what did you study?
Yeah, so I did my undergrad at Winona State University. It's in Minnesota, kind of over by La Crosse, if people are familiar. And I did double major in public administration and political science, and then a minor in economics. So basically it was preparing me to be in local government. So I kept that same goal all through college, most of high school, and continued into grad school.
Very nice. So after college, where did you start off your career?
Yeah, well, and before that, so I was in Minnesota, and actually recruiters from NIU came out to our school, and they had shared kind of what the NIU program could offer. So essentially, experience in local government, a 2-year internship. And so for me, that was a perfect opportunity. It was 2012. We were still in the midst of the recession. So I thought that was probably my best option. So I ended up coming to Illinois for Northern Illinois' program. So I did a 2-year internship during that time. I worked for the city of Lockport. So I was an intern down in Lockport, kind of near the Joliet area. It was a great opportunity. It was a community that really, had a lot of opportunity and not a lot of senior staff there was no assistant administrator. So I really got to step in and take a big role. So I was there for 2 years, and then I was promoted to be the assistant 2 at graduation. And then I was in that role for another year before I joined Gurnee about 5 years ago.
Very nice. So what do you enjoy most about working in local government? What continues to inspire you?
Weirdly, one of my favorite things in local government, and it's one of the toughest things, is the customer service side. I love taking phone calls, inquiries, and it sounds sarcastic, but it's not. I really like getting kind of odd questions and helping people work through a problem. So a lot of times I think they come to government pretty jaded, thinking they aren't going to get much help. And I love to be a really high quality customer service person that can really help them. Even if it's something that is so far outside of what local government can do, setting them up for the right resources. If they need to talk to their congressman, if they need to, talk to another entity, it's still treating them with respect and kind of helping them navigate that process, for me, is really rewarding.
Now, during the age of COVID-19, we can't network like we used to. So I just wanted to ask you a few questions just on a personal level. What is your favorite TV show?
Yeah, so definitely we were watching a little bit more TV at the beginning of this, that's for sure. A couple of my favorites, so I'm a huge fan of The Office. I think I've watched through every season about 8 times now. Also, I really like Parks and Rec, which is kind of the obvious answer. And then the third one that I throw in there for a little darker humor, I'm a fan of the show Archer. So not as well known, but it's a great one.
Very nice. Do you have a favorite book?
Yeah, I think if I have to put my all-time favorites, I'm a huge fan of Cormac McCarthy. He's the author of The Road and No Country for Old Men. And my favorite book of his is Blood Meridian. But something I've been reading lately, so I just read through, kind of binge read, the Saxon Tales. So they're kind of like Game of Thrones, but historical fiction following the formation of England in the 9th century. So kind of nerdy, but there's about 12 books, so that kept me busy for a while.
That's great. Now, do you have a favorite quote?
Yeah, I was thinking about that. I don't attach myself too much to a quote. But one that really stuck out to me that I saw recently was actually from the recently late Representative John Lewis, that I thought really stuck out as kind of an important quote for the times. This was originally from his Twitter account in 2014. But he basically said, when we see something that's not right, not fair, or not just, we have a moral obligation to speak up and speak out to do something about it. And I thought that was a really true, a true sentiment for a lot of people, especially recently. So our country has experienced a lot in the recent times. I know in local government, we have to always be very careful about our role and not overstepping into the political atmosphere. But sometimes when you see something that you know is wrong, you should speak up about it, regardless of your position, not to hide behind a position, and state what you think is right and do what is the right thing.